right, so if you're just tuning in, we're discussing do's and don'ts for online safety and security. So please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WishYouAfrica1 with the hashtag WishYou, or you send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. All right, so confidence. I was going to say to you that two things you mentioned. I get emails all the time from my bank. And I know that when I was providing the email, I didn't provide my personal email. I provided my business email. So most times when I get transactions, when I perform a transaction on my personal account, not my savings account, I get emails. But you see, the transaction does not add up. So maybe I withdrew 10,000 naira. I will see, oh, you've been credited maybe 20K and all of that. It keeps happening. So what do? Do I inform the bank? But, because me, I'm smart. So I do not even bother to, in fact, I just right click and delete the mail. I don't read, but it's a constant. It's constantly coming to my personal email all the time. That's one. Then you mentioned something about, what's it called? Crowdfunding, phishing, and somebody sending you a scam mail. I was watching the news, was it yesterday morning? They were analyzing, it's a sister station, they were analyzing, how somebody got funds. So somebody got a company that wanted to replicate a movie, Anchor Baby. He got a company from India that sent an email to say, we want to replicate this movie. So at first he thought it was a scam, but at the end of the day, it turned out that they were not scammers, they were genuine people. In fact, he said it was only when he saw the credit alert that he knew that they were not. So why I'm saying this is that what if sometimes some of these emails that come, it's actually genuine and we miss it, So maybe you should help me there.
There will be green flags.
Okay.
The green flags is things to check out.
Okay.
So for example, I don't know of a business that basically can do that scale of a business and you can't check out the physical address that they have. So there'll be things that tie them. Physical address, there'll be people that will have social media profiles that you can
verify.
That you can verify.
Okay.
You understand? There'll be things that are real. There'll be other people, maybe there'll be other connectors. There'll be, in fact, if you see a name and you're not
people you can Google.
There are people. Do you understand? There'll be people you can check out and you can have conversations on other platforms and verify. What I always say to people very often is, if you're unsure, use a second type of communication to confirm. So if you receive an email you're unsure from you, let's say, let me think, your providers, your vendor, call the person or SMS the person. That's a different way of communicating. So if somebody has taken over their email, then they'll have their phones, and of course you can verify from hearing the person's voice that this is not the person, for example. So you watch out for those green flags, because certain things to check out. When it is off, it is off. And I'll use an example of a friend who did it and is now going to be serving jail time and was on Forbes. The guy.
We know.
He sent an email and that looked like it was from Microsoft, and then that organization, somebody just clicked a link on it and then logged in and gave him his details, and then that was how he got into the account, and that was how they were wiring money. That's exactly how business email compromise happens. So people should be on the lookout, especially if you work for finance, or if you're very high in the rank in the organization, from CEOs, CFOs, because they target you. You're the one who gives those instructions to the banks. You understand? I mean, when they get into your inbox, they can make those instructions as they'll study what you have done before and be able to make those instructions. So literally, I'm saying that watch out for the green flags, like you watch out for the red flags. I mean, if I looked at that website and it looked genuine, I mean, there were signs. There were obvious signs. The address didn't check out, the phone number I called, the pictures even. The pictures were stock photos so I could find that same photo in many other websites. You know, so there are some little, just whenever you want, you're feeling like, is it really? Step back, pause, take your time, sit down and analyze that thing. If you sit down, you will find it. Whether or not you're very, very techy.
Yeah, and to add to that as well. The things they will ask you to provide will also be one of your red or green flags.
Exactly.
So engaging them is not going to harm you. The real harm is clicking on a certain link. So if you see that there's a lot of green flag and there's a lot of red flag, why not engage them? But when they start asking you to give us money because we want you to make money, or they start telling you, okay, send us your BVN, send us your password, then you know there's a problem. But if it looks genuine and the green flag is way more than the red flag, or even at par, because I think we're having communication problems now. A lot of people have people that are not qualified being on their communication team and sending very annoying emails even when they are genuine, right? So you can see it, like the one you're talking about. You know, I mentioned how I feel about email titles as well. And I told you, once I see that title, it's a red flag for me. And you're saying you've actually gotten genuine ones with that very unprofessional headline. So, I mean, that will also take me back to say, okay, look at it and see what they're talking about. So just engage them in a reply. Don't click any link. Just reply the email and listen to them. When you listen to them or they reply you, you would know from what they will ask of you. And like she said, don't share your password, don't share your personal details, your email address, or questions like, oh, what's the, when did you...
Do you know what? I was going to come to that because there was actually a trend on social media where they would ask you your first dog, and those are security questions that you answer. Your mother's maiden name, your husband's middle name, your first daughter's last name, and then actually they were collecting information from a group of people because it was very popular and people were like,
people are responding. It's fun. They're playing games.
I want to talk about websites. So we've talked about email, but let's talk about website. I have seen mirror website, like everything the same on the on a real website was cloned.
Yeah.
In websites, because e-commerce is a large thing. It's going to be the way of life.
That's the future.
How are we going to? There's some wonderful products I see. By the time I go to the website, I say, oh, Jesus, this is not me. Because sometimes, like what I've observed is that sometimes the amounts are almost like the same. But what about those ones that they just mirror it? What do we look out for? How do we tell what the original website is?
Okay, so the lines are becoming very blurry. I will be very honest with you. And I would not mention the name, but a particular bank, not one bank, many banks we found with completely cloned websites. One of them I actually called.
This is the bank I'm telling you about that send me email.
I actually cloned, and it's not a commercial bank, but this one I'm talking about, it's not a commercial bank. And I found it cloned completely, exact, and then we then, you know, reported to the Chief Information Security Officer, and then of course they tried to take it down. There are actually some banks that have programs dedicated to taking down cloned websites.
Of course.
Yeah, I know of one bank that does that very much. So it's a problem. Let's just put it out there. Before now, we used to say, you know what, Google the organization and then find it. But we know that recently, just this week, a story was shared that a certain global company, when you Google their name in Nigeria, is a scam phone number that pops up first, actually. So that's not exactly...
So they optimized the
they optimized the results to have the fake one.
Stop.
So that is one way we used to do it, which you can still try and then basically make sure that it ticks other boxes. I would say more than one box now. And then also social media accounts can help. So you check the official social media account. Usually the official social media account will have, you know, some kind of verification. The website that is tied to that is what you should trust. Because I'm saying again, social media, because recently we found that Google Nigeria was impersonated on social media, and my friend was involved in it. When I saw her picture and they were advertising the picture, when I found it, I was like, how come Google Nigeria has just 100 followers? So that was a red flag for me. You know, but if I wasn't thinking that way, you know, I would just have thought, oh, my friend is, you know, she don't blow, you know, but then this was the case. So social media, I will use social media, I'll go back to social media again, because most social media accounts can then give you a way to be sure that this is the company. Most big companies or most reputable companies that you would shop from. They are now
going on social media.
And then you will now see the blue tick by their name.
In fact, it becomes very important for them
to
have
the
blue
blue
tick.
Yes.
Media. So for the blue tick that you're talking about, sorry, Elsie, they have hacked people with blue tick accounts. So I'm wondering, like, so where is the safety in it in this social media? Because I have seen people that have verified accounts that were hacked. You know, the example is what I gave with Shafi Villa. Her account was verified. Yeah. So how come they were still able to penetrate that account?
No account is impenetratable. What I'm saying with the blue tick is that most times when it happens, there'll be other people, for example, to raise alarm. I'm sure you got to know that Shafi's account was hacked for certain activity that started happening, or her friends started publicizing it as well. So yes, we can't. The truth is, there is nothing called absolute security. It's like saying, even if you were to, there's a particular place in this country they say they could not rob before. You know, but you get what I'm saying. So there's nothing like absolute security. It's a moving goalpost, and it's also sort of like a mirage. So closer to it that she gets, the better. So it moves. But then again, it's better to be, like I said last week, to be a high-hanging fruit than very low on the ground where you can be attacked.
Absolutely. Okay. Elsie, you want to come?
Let me come in. Before you know, you tell me that time has run out. Please don't. I'm so sorry. I don't know if we can have that for the third time, so please accommodate me. So I want to talk about permissions.
Okay.
You know that, well, we all believe that there are global spies. People are spying on us every day.
No, that is true.
Because you talk about something, you see the adverts. Now, when we give permissions to people, give permission to apps, other things that we use, what is the implication? Because I've heard that someone can actually control your camera, your laptop camera, from the permission that you have given them and spy on you.
Wow.
Just help us talk about permission. What permission should we give? What permission should we not give? We know Kuku will give our data, but which ones?
Okay, so let
me add to this. I saw this thing happen live. I won't say it too. I attended a conference in the US, and they were supposed to send the training materials. So I was telling the guy that, oh God, I missed the window up. He said, just give me your login detail because every participant has a password. I was seeing the man's laptop in front of the guy's laptop. He entered his laptop. I went to pull out the files for me. So you have used the hacker.
Hey, wow. I don't like what I hear.
Anyway, so the permission, it does happen. The permissions are, I think, but there's so many apps that we should have no business having on our phone, for example, because we've given them so much. I mean, there's a particular app we've been making a lot of videos with. That app actually takes even your keystrokes on your phone. Keystrokes, yes.
Does it start with T?
It starts with T.
Okay.
See why I've not made videos.
Does it end with R or K?
It ends with K.
Thank God I'm not there.
So
I'm not doing again. No?
If you read their privacy, it's stated there that they log even your keystrokes. We don't read it. So the permissions are always stated in the privacy.
Even if you read it now, how many people know?
Do you understand it? But you see, this privacy thing that you just talked about, it annoys me. You're not giving me an option. You just say read it. Do you accept it? So if I don't accept and I still want to use your app, I can't use it. Do you understand my point? Yeah. So what's the point of it? That's why many people do not
use the app.
It's too lengthy. You don't even get it. That is why people do not even bother to read it, because it's not like if I say I do not agree with your terms and conditions.
But then you can measure the risk. But then you can measure the risk if you read it. For example, that's the reason I never had the app on my phone, because I could measure the risk and it wasn't worth it. Thank God another app gave me an option that the risk is still high with them, but it's not as high as this other one that records all my keystrokes, you know. So
and it's important for the kind of job
I do. So at the end of the day, you have to weigh them. And that's why it's important to read them. And then even when you're accepting the app, it will tell you most of the key things. For example, your mic. Your camera. Why should a dictionary app be asking for your camera?
Exactly. Exactly. I look out for the ones that ask for my camera.
Yes.
The ones that, and if you don't need to use my camera, I would not grant.
You don't need
to have them.
You don't need
but
to.
You would say that you don't want the permission.
Yeah.
For the
So you can. Some of them give you that option when you're giving them a permission.
Yeah.
And then if it's not necessary, if it's not absolutely necessary for that app to deliver that service to you, I say even physically, if I go to a place and it's not absolutely necessary for me to give you my phone number to sign in, I'll scribble something that won't give the real one. Do you understand? So I give people my data consciously, knowing that the data I'm giving you is enough for you to deliver the service I want you to deliver to me. Otherwise, I'm not giving it to you. Sorry.
That also reminds me, I think I need to mention this. I got a pop-up on Instagram, and so what they're doing is to ask you, I think it's not just Instagram, but it's Instagram I remember now. They will ask you if you want them to crawl your search history in order to save adverts. So you have the right to actually say yes or no. And
I always say no.
Yeah, so I like that they are trying to redeem their image. You know, Mark has really been under fire for a lot. So they're really doing a lot to ensure that you're safe using WhatsApp and all their products, you know. So when I saw that, it kind of made sense. But then I was now in between decisions. Do I want to say no or not? Because if it's to serve me adverts.
So in wrapping up the conversation, because we're
wrapping.
Yes.
Can I have one tiny question?
Oh yeah, I have the tiny
What's
question.
the importance of clearing your cache?
Okay.
You know, what the information you will catch, what is it? Are they following you? Are they like breadcrumbs? Please.
So there's something called cookies. It's not the one you eat. It's the one that stores the information that as you use the internet.
Yeah.
So your cache holds that information temporarily so that they can quickly serve you the website you frequently visit, or even collect information about you as well. Depends on the cookies that you're accepting when you're visiting websites. So your cache actually sometimes becomes very clogged. Some instances is just for technical reasons that you have to clear your cache. Okay. Actually, sometimes it's also for you to just make sure you get rid of the trackers. So your clearing your cache is important if privacy is important to you. Just like using incognito mode of browsers, or using browsers that assure you more privacy than average ones.
Okay, so I hear that even using a smartphone alone, you're already being watched. You do not have any privacy. It's the owners that know they know how to find you. So for those that are using smartphones, and the technology is getting better and better with the smartphone. It's almost like you can do literally anything on your phone. So how would you advise they manage,
the activities?
The activities, sometimes because it's like you're talking on the phone and something is, so
should we be careful? Yes.
Should we be careful in using our smartphones genuinely, or we are fine, we're good because it's my phone and all of that?
That question is still a risk question. Say, risk versus reward. You have to weigh them. So what do you really need per time is what I would say you should use your smartphone for. If there are apps on your phone that really you're no longer using, take them off, because you're increasing the surface for anybody to do whatever they need to do with you, and increasing the likelihood of you having a software on your phone that actually harms you. So that's what I would say. But saying that you want to completely be private and still access technology, the honest truth is no, because sometimes we are paying with our data for the services we are getting, and then you just have to do a scale balance of the reward you're getting from using the technology versus the price you have to pay daily.
Wow, I have a friend that does not have a smartphone. I have a friend that does not have a smartphone.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, because people are doing not 9 knots.
They don't.
They say they're not interested because you see, big men, I hear big men, they use the 3310 because those ones that are not connected to the satellite. But okay, maybe because we still have a minute or two. Online, something is coming big in Africa, where we no longer use all these fiber optics and all these things. It's straight to the satellite, I mean, it's Tesla that is powering it, what's his name? Elon Musk is powering that. It's coming to Africa very soon. So do you think that would help in helping with cybersecurity or whatever, or it's going to worsen our matter?
I just feel like it's just going to increase our access to fast internet.
Okay, that's all. So there's nothing.
No, not security.
No risk.
There'll always be
involved.
risk and reward.
There will be a risk because again, data is always going to be shared somewhere else that you don't have control over. But for me, I look at it from the angle of, okay, so the reward being the more players we have in internet space, the more likely that the service is going to improve.
Definitely.
Yeah, with the players we have currently. So that's where I look at it from. You're going to have more people have access to the internet to get better at gaining skills, doing business and stuff like that. And maybe cheaper. If I even drive down, because competitive forces drive down cost, So so there are many. I would look at it from that perspective, the economics of it.
Okay, I would love to bring her back to talk about. No, it's true. No.
Hey.
Now let's talk about. No, it's not. Don't worry, we won't stress you anytime. But we'll bring you back because I want to talk about cybersecurity for children. Okay. Safety for children, because it's something that is becoming very prevalent. I mean, we saw a video people have refused to talk about, of children uploading nude, whatever. Porn, actually, young girls. What am I saying, young girls? Babies. They were like 7-6-year-olds doing porn videos and uploading online and all of. So maybe you would help parents, to manage how to monitor what their kids are doing.
I mean, just to chime into that, we just closed out a partnership with Facebook as well to co-host an event for parents next month around online safety for their children. So yes,
so that's perfect. So maybe before the event, we'll host you again so we can have more people attend.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be fantastic.
That's fine. That's
fantastic.
That would be lovely, actually.
Thank you.
Your BFF.
Exactly. It has been said.
Yes, All right, so Waze was birthed from the need to inform, inspire, and influence lives towards action. And this year, we started a CSR focused on curbing unemployment in Nigeria. And if you're a company, please partner with us by allocating internship slots. And if you're a job seeker, keep watching Waze and follow us on all our social media handles, as this will be an all-year-round engagement. So tell your friends to keep all eyes on Waze. So from next week, we're going to be announcing some of the companies that are available for internships. So for those that are interested, you apply. All right, so in case you missed today's quote, here it is again. It used to be expensive to make things public and cheap to make them private. Now it's expensive to make things private and cheap to make them public. This way. That's some, that's some cliche. All right, so we'll see you live on Monday as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy your weekend.